So what we are going to be doing today is some treat catches with the doggos, because why would we not want to do that on day 3 of the photography show? So we're going to be working with Alfie, who is my most experienced dog model. We'll bring him out in a second. Alfie is 10 years old this year. This is his last photography show, so a bit of like a retirement trip out for him, bless him, as he retires from public life. Now, important fact to note about that is because of his age, he is struggling a little bit to see the snacks as they fly towards him, and so his catch ratio has gone from 100% all of the time to perhaps maybe 20%, but he still enjoys trying to take part, so we'll still keep him involved because he does love it. Most of the dogs that you guys might work with will not be an Alfie. Then no one's dog's probably going to behave like this one will. Alfie's been doing things like this since he was literally a tiny puppy. So he's extremely experienced in helping other people learn how to do photography, which means that I can essentially almost treat him as though he's a little stuffed animal, because he'll just hold his positions for everybody. And that's because he's had thousands of hours of training. So it doesn't come out of the box like that. Please don't go ahead and get a border collie thinking that it's just going to be like that. Doesn't work like that. But hopefully he'll give you guys some good helpful bits and pieces to go through today. So with introductions of him out of the way, I probably should introduce myself. I'm Jessica McGovern, international multi-award winning photographer with 16 titles and counting on that basis. I photograph dogs most of the time because they're way more fun than people. No offense, I do love you guys, but it's always going to be the dogs for me. It's always going to be the dogs. So Alfie is obviously one of my own. We've got a couple more here today at the show as well. They're very used to this environment. All I would ask is please don't try to distract them when they're working. Don't go out of your way to try and get their attention, because they're working, they're doing their job, okay? So just let them have their little focus bits and we will continue. So to be able to do this effectively, you just need a single light and a backdrop area, which is exactly what we've got in front of us here. You also need some snacks that the dog likes. You can use balls, toys, etc. All of the above is fine. This stand that we're on right now is a little risky to be using a ball, because if they don't make that catch, the ball will go very far in different directions and they might get confused by the balls that are on the edges of items, and then we would have a disaster. So we're just snacks today. So I've just got a pack of snacks in one of my old treat bags down here, and then I'm working with a City 600 Pro. This is my normal stuff from home. So I've literally wheeled it over from our stand over there. So the City 600 Pro for me is just my go-to. It's my comfy slippers, essentially, and I really like them to work with dogs. Part of that is because the price point is quite achievable for a lot of people when you compare it against the others in the same class for the things that I'm about to mention. So the second thing is the fact that it's completely wireless, runs off of a battery, so there's no cables that can cause safety concerns or issues when you've got animals running around on the floor. And the second thing, which is probably the most important thing, is the flash duration. So that's the important part, and that's what we're relying on to do this piece of work today. So I will start by saying that there will be some flyers dotted around on the edges. So I've got some over here with Dom and some over here that detail the equipment. So if you missed what I just said, please do feel free to grab hold of them, because they'll go through what we're using. So this light for me, the flash duration is awesome. Another good thing about it, and also the slightly less powerful lights in the same range, is that they all show you the flash duration on the body itself. So when I turn this on, for example, at 1/4 power, my flash duration is 1/1500th of a second, and that can freeze action. And that's the important bit that we're working with. So we want to freeze the action in the shot. And you guys might be thinking, well, we just need to put our shutter speed up to 1/1500th of a second, and we'll be able to do that and get it sorted. It doesn't work like that, yeah? So you could use high-speed sync, but that's not what high-speed sync exists for. High-speed sync doesn't exist to be freezing action. Instead, you make sure that your light is capable of freezing action with the flash duration. So some physics and maths coming in here. Maths is not my strong point, and mental arithmetic I really struggle with. However, I can do this maths. reading numbers. Actually, I can't do that either. But you'll see I'm at the sync speed for my camera and flash here. So 1/250th of a second is what I've got working on my camera. And that's not going to be enough to freeze movement. We're just going to end up with a blurry blob of a dog moving across the screen. Nobody wants that in their life, unless that's what you're going for, in which case you do you know. So what we're actually relying on is the length of time that the pop of the flash is going to exist within the space, okay? So what's actually happening is that shutter's opening and it can't see anything, because we're going to make sure it can't see anything. It's going to see nothing, blankness, absolutely nada. And instead what's going to happen is the flash is going to go pop, and that pop is only going to exist for 1/1500th of a second, which means that effectively the camera has only seen something for 1/1500th of a second in time, which means that all it's seen is that split second that it froze the action, and that's how it works. That's how you freeze action in studio. So if that's all you came to hear, then that's that. Have a good day. But what we'll do is we'll see how that relates and works with dogs and how we can work out our positioning. Now, one thing that I have done here is, just to keep it simple, only using one light. You don't have to, however, make sure your other lights also have a short flash duration. So they all need to be doing the same thing at the same duration, otherwise you'll cause some problems. However, this set would be much more dramatic if we used a 3-light setup with 2 rim lights perhaps, or something like that. So do consider adding some additional lights. You can do it, it's fine. So what I'm going to do with just this one is I'm going to keep it in pretty much a butterfly position, which is fairly frontal, tipped downwards in front of the subject. So on a human, butterfly represents with a butterfly-shaped shadow underneath the subject's nose. However, my dog's got a long nose and it points in a different direction to a human. So the name makes no sense for us with animals, but it's just the pattern of light that we're putting down. Now, in normal studio life, what we need is nice big swoopy cut-off catch lights at the top of the eyeballs. So the light's going to come up slightly compared to its normal position for photographing this subject that we've got, because when the dog goes to catch the food, the head goes back. The top of the head comes back as the mouth opens, therefore the eyes are more revealed, and so the catch light, if you left it in a normal position with the light, would be over the pupil, and no one wants that because it looks rubbish. Okay, so we don't want that. Also, we'll give really flat light to the front of the face, and no one wants that because it looks rubbish. So you've got to be adding all of these ingredients up so the light comes upwards slightly. You can keep going and just keep lifting it. And what that will give you is good soft fall down of the light from the top to the bottom of the subject, and also the catch lights will lift slightly. Are we going to get cut off catch lights with this shot? Probably not. Probably not. And that's largely because the eyeballs are often pulled backwards. When the dog goes to catch, the eyeballs are really open. It's just not going to be that accurate. But by all means, experiment with yourself at home. I know I'm quite a full-on with the theory, but it's just the way I am. I'm sorry about that. So the modifier that I'm using here as well is my favourite one. So I've just brought this from home, hence why it's like a bit raggedy. And this is my 105 rice bowl. It's a really versatile modifier, and hence why I've brought it with me, because it suits lots of different setups. So I could do lick shots with it, and I can do natural light effect demos with a continuous light with it, and I can do all sorts with it. It's just a really good modifier. I like it because it's nice and shallow, but it still gives you a good big swoopy catch light when you've got it right. And so, perfect. So, with all of that said and done, I said that we need to make sure the camera sees nothing at all, absolutely nothing. And therefore we start with the ambient exposure. Whenever you do anything with flash or off-camera flash, you always think ambient first, flash second. So the ambient light happens first, like your ambient exposure. Do you want it slightly lower? Do you want it slightly higher? How do you want your ambient to be sat? And for us, we want none. We want no ambient. So, now, interesting fun fact about this demonstration is I can't see anything on this. There's no screens working, so it's all up here. So we all have to look together at this screen. So at the moment, you can see some, don't worry about my battery, you guys, I've got battery, but don't panic, it's okay. So up on the screen, what we can see is some stuff. So we're seeing like a little bit of that bright reflection just coming off of that shiny metal kickboard there. If I point this at my actual backdrop area, I can see some stuff. And what I'll do is I'll just take a picture. You might think that's black, it's not. It's not. And our histogram and blinkies will tell us that it's not. So we're nearly clipped, nearly. These video lights are deceptively bright, you guys. They're very good. So usually in this situation, I would be okay. However, in this one, I'm not. So what do I need to do? I need to remove more ambient light. I'm at my flash's sync speed. I'm going to leave it at 2/50th of a second. I'm already at ISO 100, so I'm not going to change that. And instead, I'm going to change my aperture. So my aperture is going to go ahead and come up, probably somewhere around about f10. And then I'm going to go take a picture. And if I turn off that as well, then it should be much better in a situation where we're in blackness. Relative blackness. So it's only when I'm hovering over something that's got very bright lights that we can see it, but where I'm shooting, that's the important thing. So I'll turn it back on. I'll leave my modelling light on. So I always shoot with the modelling light on, and another good thing about this light is that the modelling light is more than bright enough to help my mirrorless camera find the subject's eyeball. Because that's one thing that is actually a little tricky with mirrorless cameras, is the fact that DSLRs could grab the eye of a subject quite quickly, whereas if you've got a dark face subject in a dark ambient light and all your settings are configured for that, the mirrorless cameras can struggle. That's cross-brand, there's no specific one. A good modelling light will help you if you're finding it difficult. So if you notice your camera's hunting and hunting and hunting and missing and hunting, put more light on it, and then it will be fine. I promise. I've been there. I've been through the heartache of it. So when we're in this situation and we're happy with our ambient, then all we need to do then is turn on our light. So I would usually start us off in a normal scenario at, I'm on 8 over here, so I'd usually start off at 1/8 power, and that would be sort of like my starting place to work from. I don't use light meters because I've already told you I don't do maths. Right? None of it. Can't do it. No. So I've used the tools at my disposal and histograms, and I eyeball it basically. And so at this point I sort of start to take my position, which is down here by the way. So the other thing to know about dogs is that basically you just spend your entire time on the floor. And the other thing to know about this situation is I can't see anything. So I can't see my screens. My screen is there. So I have to be here to be able to see what's going on, right? So if I take a picture of this, just this backdrop here, what I'm looking for, I don't really care about the background there. I'm just looking that we're fairly okay. And then I'll just ask to have the dog in the scene. So we've already talked about Alfie, you guys. So Dan will just drop me Alfie in. So Alfie technically is my dog, although Dan would like to say he's his. So Alfie's been my best mate for best part of 10 years now. Hey buddy, back, go around it, back. Come, sit. So he will work at a distance perfectly fine. He will also let me have stacks of snacks on the floor and not go and get them. But to be fair, all my dogs do that, so that's not unique. Come. So all we need to have is him in a he knows I usually shoot this side of the pole. So he's gone like straight to that side. All I need to do is get a good established exposure. So usually I would be now paying my dog, and so I will, thank you. To make sure that he knows he's been a good boy. And in terms of the exposure, I have to be very careful of his white bits. His white bits are problematic. But actually it's not so bad. So in this situation I actually need a little bit more light, so I'm just going to go straight on my trigger and change that, because I might be young, but I'm not young enough to keep standing up and down and changing light settings. So I just change it from here. So I'll just add another stop and see where we end up with that. And I just, again, need to just be, so I'm now getting a little nervous about my highlights. You see the white blinky on his nose. When he goes to get the snack, his nose will lift slightly. He'll move closer to the light. I don't want that, so I'm going to come back down a little bit. So I just knock it down 2/3 of a stop and just take one more. Ready? Good. Nice. And I just want to find that middle ground. Now, if we're concerned about clipped blacks, which I'm not because I'm shooting raw and this is fine, but if we were, we could bring in another light, a reflector, all sorts of other bits and pieces. And my light placement is really important for having that nice light fall down. Thank you. Good boy. So like we said when we started, if you were here from the beginning, Alfie is struggling to see his snacks so well now in his age. Good boy, puppy. And so what we might need to do is just do a little bit of snack catching. But hopefully he won't come forwards into you guys. But if he does, he's very friendly, I promise. So all that's left, and he is sat, so I'm shooting on the right side of the pole, but he'll straighten up, I'm sure, is we then have to just go and grab our focus and then shoot. So it's a case of timing, because I only have one shot. and you just go and shoot. And I'm so sorry because I should make it seem a lot harder than it is, but in essence it is literally just timing. That's all it is. So you ready, Pop? You've done really well with your catching. I'm so impressed. Ready, 1, 2, go. Can I try and throw it lower? Comes, good. Ready? Oh, you're a bit close now. You don't want your ear chopped off. Ready? And 1, 2. That was bad from me. Back up. Back at the back. Good boy. So, it's hard to see. 1, 2. I tried to throw it lower and I failed. Back up, leave it, back, go back. Good boy. So obviously you're going to be like, well, my dog wouldn't do that. Well, my dog wouldn't be so well behaved. It's interesting how quickly the dog will realise actually if they go back to that position they get the food quicker. So actually that is something that will happen. But the other thing to remember is that your dog doesn't have to be Alfie. If you can, just get a helper, put the dog on a lead, little thin lead, even if it's just a piece of rope, it's fine. And then just have them on leash and just let the handler give them a little bit of flexibility when they go to make the catch. And obviously if the snack bobs off the nose, give them a lot of line, don't strangle them, obviously. But don't put pressure on the dog, because if you make it not fun, then the dog's never going to want to do it. You're looking so cute, we'll just take that picture because it's cute. Ready, 1, 2. Good boy. Super. So what we want to be seeing, and I will just wiggle around to the side of this light for a second. Back, and down. Good. I just wiggle around the side and just have a quick check, because what I want to know is that eye tack sharp. That's all I care about. I can't zoom in anymore, so I'm going to make the assessment of yes, it is. The catch light is still a little low for me, and the light is still a little bit too frontal. So an improvement that I would like to make on it, personally, would be to actually lift the light upwards. So, whilst I clamber around on the floor, okay, and I'll just need a minute when I stand up. I have POTS, a condition where if you stand up too quick, you pass out. So I sometimes just need a minute if it's warm, and it's warm in here for me. So I'm just going to lift up. So I want to lift the light up. The reason why the lights come up is because as the head goes backwards, like we said, the catch light will drop down in the eye. I just need a little bit more room. So I want a little bit more dramatic light coming straight from the top. Still soft, although the light source has moved further away, so it will harden up slightly. He's so cute, boy. He's such a good boy. Can you move this way? Back this way. Back. Good, that's perfect. Super. He will work like this for anyone, but he does do it best for me. Ready? 1, 2. Oh, that was bad throw. That was my bad. Go back in, puppy. Back in. Back. Back up. Sit, you sneaky bear. Right on the edge. You ready? And 1, 2. We're not doing very well now, are we? Back. I want to get a good comparison. Are you ready? 1, 2. Oh, I threw it like the other way. I threw it like off the side. Back. Good boy. So he knows that if he goes back to that position, that's when the snacks come firing at his head. And so that's a fun thing. Ready, 1, 2. Oh, rubbish. Back, sit. And that's rubbish for me, not him. Back, sit. So if a dog ever does something that you don't want them to do, or you think the dog's being naughty or bad, that's totally incorrect. It just means you did the wrong thing, or you didn't make it clear enough for them. Back this way, back. Good boy, nice and straight. Super. So I just want him to stay fairly central under this light, because he's already leaning left, because he knows it's my left hand. If I came this way and asked him to come into a sit, he'd come straighter. Back, sit. Good. Do you see how he just straightened up his body a little bit? Ready, 1, 2. Good. That's not an attractive shot, mate. Ready, 1, 2. Good boy. That's quite a good throw from me though. So as a result, the catch light's just moved up outside of the pupil a little bit, and so it just gives it a little bit more room. Whereas if you have your catch light in the pupil itself, then it can just look a little bit spacey. It's a bit weird. So just see if you can get it lifted. And we've got much stronger fall down of the light, so around his neck fluff, it's all got more definition. You sneaky, there's nothing there, mate. Back up. Go round and back. Good boy. And realistically, I know that's not particularly helpful in this situation, but that's all there is to it, you know? So, does anybody have any questions right at this second? I am using iFocus, yes. So that's actually a really great question that we can definitely address, because I'm shooting on a Sony A1, right? Flagship, and it's a great camera. I will testify to that. However, I first did this, I just remember with him, he learned to catch when he was about 12 weeks old, because I needed him to do a catch project. So I know that I was at that point with him shooting catch shots. So given the fact he's 10 this year, it was a good 9.5 years ago that we were doing this, and at that point I definitely didn't have this. I had a pretty old Nikon DSLR camera and a second-hand lens, even a kit lens potentially even at that point, and all of this was totally doable. However, I would use spot focus. I would use spot focus for it on a camera if we're just thinking there's going to be a little bit of issue, and then it's your job to track where the head goes. It's way easier said than done, I can promise you that. But if you learn it on equipment that's not that great, then when you get equipment that's great, it's just very easy. Very, very, very easy work. Yeah? But yes, at the moment I am on one, I'm using Animal IF. Yeah. Any other questions at this point? Who wants the dog? I thought so. No one has any questions, they just want to steal Alfie. Does anybody want to have a go? Yes. Come on then. Okay, so the main thing to remember in this, if you just pop down here, the main thing to remember in this situation, and it's really important, is you can't see. You're blind. Okay, so you just pray and hope for the best. That's pretty much it. Okay, it's quite heavy, but it's okay. Focus, shoot. Okay, so if you just tap that one, there we go. So you can see what's going on. So give it a zoom in. So we want kind of like headshot almost. Yeah. Angle up a little bit. There we go. And then what we'll do is we'll just load you up with some snacks. Hang on. Here we go. So you have to throw with this hand. Yeah. It's hard. You can always put them on the floor because he won't come and eat them, I promise. And then just pick one up at a time because I find that easier. And then show him you've got it. So if you say ready, and then you throw. Bit early, it's okay, it's stressful. This is a very nerve-wracking situation. Go back, sit. Good. Oh, a bit too far, but it's okay. Do you want me to move him forwards or is he okay? Okay, throw hard. That's okay. You were nearly there. It's okay. Come sit. Come sit. A little bit. Come sit. Good. Wait. Sit. Good. Better. Perfect. That was good. You're getting there. You're getting there. It's okay. So what I want you to do this time is we try and just precise. Come sit. You've made a mess that backdrop, maybe it's okay. So what I want you to do is just focus on when his mouth opens, then hit that. Okay? So kind of line it up and then stop looking at that, try and hold still, and then go. Much better. And the tree's over his eyeball, so we can't even check the focus of it, so we're going to have to go again. Back up. Come sit. Good boy. Better, still better. You tilt it upwards. The camera gets heavy.
Yeah. I'm used to oil resistance. It's really light.
It's the battery grip that adds a lot of weight. Come sit. Good boy.
I used to be one of the X.
That was better. That was better. It's just a compositional thing. That's all. Well done. Well done. Well done. Goodbye. Does anybody else want to have a go? Come on. That was so enthusiastic, I couldn't say no to that. Hey Bobby, go back on it. And sit. Good boy. Okay, you ready? Okay, what do you shoot with normally?
Canon.
Okay, what a shame. Okay, so focus, shoot. Okay, and then you need to hold snacks. No, there is no screen. This is your screen.
Oh, right, okay.
It's harder than, it's hard. See, the stakes are getting harder already. And then this is your snack pot.
Yeah.
Okay? So feel free to change the zoom of the lens if you want to, or if you're happy with that, then fine, shoot with this. And then you just got to just go for it, really. Show him you've got the snack. So you say ready. That's okay. I'm going to make it just so that it's really difficult and make sure that you only shoot one shot. I'm just going to switch it so that it will only take one shot no matter how much you press your finger down.
Ready?
That was good. He went the wrong way there. So what I want you to try is a different throwing technique, and I know I'm making it complicated. So sometimes the underarm is, sometimes it's effective, I'm not saying it's not, but if you get it perfectly timed and perfectly aimed, what you might have is the underside of the subject's head, yeah, in the shot. So instead I want you to throw it like a dart, straight at his face. He won't object, I promise.
I feel like I've got sweaty hands.
It's okay, you're doing okay, you're doing okay, it's fine. So try and get his composition a little bit there, and then now dart throw at his head. Hard, you got to do it harder. That was okay, just different direction. Alfie, find it. Good, yes. Come back on it.
Oh, you're so
Back in
patient.
on it. Back in. Good. Okay. That was much better. That was like, yeah, but that was much better. I'm happy with this. This is good progress. I love it. Good. So you're very slightly early. That's the only thing. Okay. She wants to do 2 more. We're doing 2 more first. That's okay. Okay, you're still too early. So what I want you to do is ignore this. Well, line up and then ignore this. Watch his head and shoot when his mouth starts to open. You panicked. You're doing it. No, we're doing another one. We're not stopping on that. We must finish on a high. Come. Much better. It is much better. I promise you it's much better. The thing is that it's just practice, and actually it's a great load of fun when you do it with your dog. That was great. That was good.
And last one.
Okay, last one.
Ready?
That's okay. It's good. Well done.
Thank you so
It's
much.
okay. Well done. Good try.
Good boy.
Good lad, buddy.
Thank you.
Back out. Go back round. Round. Good boy. Super. All right. Super. We've got time for one more person to have a go. Come on. Oh, you want to have a go? Okay. We have to do 2 more. Have to do 2 more. Okay. So, right.
That shuttle here, yeah.
Yeah, focus though here.
All right, yeah.
So focus and you have to do both. And then also, you've got no screens, that's your screen. And also you need some snacks. But you have to tell them you've got it. So I'll put them next to you on the floor, here.
Yeah,
I'll put them here.
Yeah.
So you just grab one at a time and say ready, and then go for it.
Ready?
That was good. Come. A bit closer, come. Yes.
Ready?
That was good. So what we just try and do is throw slightly harder, a little bit lower.
Bit lower.
A little bit lower. Round it, sit. Just to see if we can get his head to open a little bit
Yeah.
lower down. Come sit, you're too far, come puppy. Yes, good. He's focusing so much on you. Sit. Good lad. It's a little bit better. So, do you see how the height of your throw
Yeah.
dictates the height of his mouth, which
yeah.
then can cover the eyeballs?
Yeah.
So it's up to you which way, because you could throw slightly off to the side, and that would have the same. You'd
Okay.
still open up the eye.
Yeah.
So it's just personal preference. But
Yeah.
really good work.
Okay.
Well done.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Okay, focus, shoot. Focus, shoot. No screens, eyeballs, snacks. You got it. I'll just move him. Come. Good. Okay. So, think about your composition. That's good. Okay, too early, don't worry, it's because you're panicking. It's a big stressful situation. Back. Good boy. Just take your time, it's all right. And whilst we're working through this, you guys, to be able to do this, if you've been here since the start, you'll know that some of the equipment is really important. The little flyers that are on the racks, rack just here, and also the stand over here, are well worth just picking up so that you know what we're working with here, because the light itself is very important. Sorry, well done. That was much better timing. Your composition goes upwards, but it's a heavy piece of kit, and this cable pulls it slightly as well, so it's okay. Back. Good boy. I don't know, are you hitting the... There we go, yeah. I'm almost tempted to just pull it downwards a little bit when you're shooting.
Oh, okay.
Just keep a little bit of tension
start
on it.
low,
Whereas when you take your eyes off of that to focus on him, it slides
Good with
upwards.
driving as well.
Do you we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that when we're driving. Okay, right, ready? It's okay. It's okay.
One more?
Okay, one more. Back sit.
Sorry.
Back sit.
It's addictive, isn't it?
It's very addictive because you want to like beat your score from last time the dog like yes. You are really pulling upwards, but that was great.
Thank you so
No
much.
problem.
Which
No
phone
worries.
is that? Was an A1?
It's an A1.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause I've got an A7R4.
That would be
So I
fine.
haven't tried anything with the eye
Oh,
thing
that'll be
yet.
fine.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah, goodness me. Yeah, definitely.
Great,
Super.
thank you.
Good boy. So, any questions for us? I just use, so he's got loads of really severe allergies, so actually all he's eating is his boring kibble, it's dog food, it's just literally dog food. That's all he's eating. So, it's just kibble, and it's the only things that he can eat. So this is our last dog food before he can't eat anything. Back. You just use whatever you prefer. You can genuinely use anything, but all of my dogs will work for this very boring food. Back out, back, go back. Good boy. And as you can tell, he loves it. Go back, you sneaky snake. Back. Sit. Good boy, puppy. Super. Well, if everybody's happy, that's that.